able to connect. Now it says you're live again. Hey! Okay, we'll get this figured out, I promise. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I finish the backs of all this crap. Awesome crap though, might I add. So I have this really cool roll for coaster backings. They're just the 4x4s, so they fit right on the back of my coasters. I'll show you guys one that's already done, just so you can see. They fit right inside that line, so they're nice. This was before I learned my awesome trick to remove the resin bulbs though, and I thought I sanded flat enough, but obviously I did not. Steffi, hey. So, yeah, and then also if you guys don't want to do cork is a little bit more expensive, but you can also do foam backings. So I thought I'd show you guys those two as well. These were way before I did the corks. Joe, what's going on? And I did black foam sheets and I cut them up into squares. Vicky, hey! And these took a lot longer than the cork. The cork I love to get. I get it from Amazon. I am not sure if I have a link up yet, but I'll check right after to make sure I have a link for this because they are amazing. Steffi says I missed Friday and Saturday. Girl, was camping. Oh, but camping is so much fun. So that's always a good thing. Karen caught me live. Patty, hey! Ooh, you're the one who got the zebra pic. Awesome. Okay. So, well, let me just kind of get going here, and I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff. I know some of you actually are very new and have not been on here before and did not get a chance to see my awesome heat gun trick for removing the back of the pieces. So, actually, Mr. Assistant Man, could you go grab me a hand towel? Pretty please?
Got it, boss.
Thank you. Oh, he calls me boss too. But that is right? I mean, just saying, the woman's the boss in this household. But yeah, so I missed a couple comments. He's gonna read anything that I missed. I seen Midgie Midge came on. What's up? Welcome, boss family. Woo woo. So excited. So I have a bunch of coasters. Let me show you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing. Here's my coffee mug collection. BT Dubs. Super awesome. So let me. Oh, yay, thank you. That is not a hand towel, that's a rag. Hand towels are bigger. Okay, so let me see if this thing will pan the other way. This way. Okay, so you guys can see all of the coasters that we're gonna be finishing. These ones are all done. Everything else that's up is needing to be re-resined, and I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you sand a piece, okay? So I did a sanding. You can see, look how dull it looks and stupid and lame. But once that resin goes over top, and that's why I did this, so once that resin goes over top, you guys will be able to see how all that sanding is non-existent. Like you're not gonna be able to tell that, this panning thing is like weird as heck. Okay, there it goes. All right, you're not gonna be able to tell that you sanded it at all. So here we go. James is on. He's going to be my question master. Babe, make sure I stay focused on like where I'm working to because I can't see the camera. Okay, so I'm going to jump in. We're just going to re-resin things at the end. I'm going to jump into showing you guys how to remove the backs of these. Some of them, they're perfectly fine and only have like 1 or 2 bulbs. But some of them, like this, need a lot more. So this one, actually, I'm not even gonna do yet because if you have to re-resin them, don't worry about removing the bulbs. So, something that's very important, I'm heating up my heat gun right now, and that has the flat attachment at the end. Once this gets super hot, do not touch it. Don't touch it at all, it's a horrible idea. But this is perfect to remove these because there's no fume. Actually, because this is plastic, I need that hand towel. That's what the hand towel was for. So you put the hand towel down and you can flip this upside down so that way you're not scratching your resin or anything like that. And then you just hold it up against the bulb and push just super gently and it starts to run right through it. Look at that. It's friggin' amazing. It gets it all the way down to the base part of it. Like, I friggin' love it. Look at that. And it takes a very short time. There's no fumes. When this comes up, like, or when you're going through here, there's no fumes. When I use a blowtorch, there's fumes because it heats up too much, but the heat gun doesn't do that. So this is just amazing. I love it. Let me know if you guys have questions about this particular thing. I have seen some people, once they've seen this trick, they used a putty knife because they didn't have the attachments. I highly recommend the attachments because then you can put your hands right here to hold as like a brace and then push against that with the attachment. If you're using a putty knife, you are getting your hands super close to what is going on the heat gun, and I highly do not recommend that because I tried it and it does not feel good, okay? It's not fun getting burnt. So, yeah, what'd you say? Do I sand what? Oh, I actually don't. So the coasters, the reason I was sanding those, here, this one's already done. So, and see how fast that was? Literally, that's done. You wipe the back of it and grab one of these puppies, stick it on the back, and you have a finished product. Look at that. Freaking amazing, right? So now back to that question. So I don't sand everything. There are some that you really just want to be super careful with. For example, this one, you can sand if it's super sharp, but I mostly keep this just as is, okay? Now the reason being is if you sand where this gold leaf is, the gold leaf is right on top. So if you sand there, then you're going to take away that gold leaf. You can sand here, you can sand here, that's totally gonna be fine because that resin, you know, that basically think of this as an image that sits on top and think of this as an image that goes all the way through. So this would be fine to sand on top, but this part would not. So you wanna keep that in mind whenever you're sanding things. Some of them don't even need a second layer. For example, these ones, and these ones, and these ones, none of them need a second layer. That's why I'm not doing the second layer. I was going to pour over top of these ones, but my mom really likes them, so she claimed them already and said, don't pour over top of them. I said, okay.
Where did you get your attachments for the heat gun?
Attachments are from Amazon, so it came with the heat gun. I have not been able to find them separately. If I can, I'll put that on my materials list on my website. But I got the heat gun and the attachments. They were having a sale and it was like 20 bucks for both. And I normally pay 12 bucks for one of those mini heat guns anyways. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth the investment for your safety because of the fumes and there's no sanding dust. Like, it's just all in all a much safer method, and I feel like it's worth it to do that. And that you can get on my materials page.
And what grit is your sandpaper?
The one that I'm using, this one is just 150, I think. I just use a nice fine sandpaper, 150. And this you can put on one of those sheet clamp things. I just did it by hand. I'll show you guys how I sand and everything too. So that way this doesn't drag out too much. I'll just show you a couple more of these guys. I'll finish this particular set and then I'll save the other ones for off screen if you guys are not, enjoying it. And then I'll show you guys how I finish the backing of my geodes because those are very similar in the fact that you want to get these off the bulbs, but you don't want to just leave it like that. You can either put the foam on it if you're going to use it as a platter, or you can use hanging, I think they're called bear tooth hangers or something like that, and that'll, see that slid right off. And that'll help because then people don't have to determine the orientation, it's just already there. So you're determining that for them because you are the artist.
How much do you sell?
The coasters, so if they are just finished with resin, like for example, this one was done with alcohol inks and then finished with resin. This is one of my crap ones, that's why it's mine. And that one, I sell a set for $35. So, or if they're just wanting two, then it's $20. So it's like $10 a piece. If it is all resin, like this one, that's more product. So I sell the set for $45. Okay, so then you just stick this little cork right on the back here. And boom, now you have a nice set of 2. You can fancy it up however you want. I have a whole 6 of them, but like I said, I'm not gonna torture you guys with that. I'm just going to jump through so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'll show you, for example, this piece I actually had used the Amazing Clear Cast because I was waiting on my art resin to get in. And I wanted you guys, I don't know if it shows with this reflection, but there's a lot of, I think they call them cat eyes or divots or something like that. And there's a lot of them in here because of that resin. I think every single time I've used it as a sealer, no matter how good I clean, I've always had those. But when I had art resin and I sealed this same type of thing, a silicone paint, I clean it very well. I have a video on how to clean it super, super well. And every time I seal with art resin, I have no issues with that. So I don't have to seal it multiple times, which also saves me on using resin and hence saves money. So since this one is not done, I'm not going to remove these off. I'm just going to, do the second layer of resin. But as you can see, it's already sanded, so you can see that it's kind of dull and there's some stripes, not stripes, lines of the sanding and stuff throughout. And then the, what was I gonna say? I lost track. Oh yeah, this one. So a couple of these geodes I do not want to do a second layer on. This one is one of them, my beautiful coral one. So, and I got it from Ross, you can see. But yeah, all you gotta do is the exact same thing. You just wanna make sure that you have it on a nice soft surface, and then also make sure that the surface around is not going to be harmed by the heat gun. And then you just remove it all. And then that way this bottom is a really nice flat edge. If you wanted to, you can put some foam core on this one. But since it's already got the feet on it, I'm not worried about putting anything else on it. It's already lifted. It'll be protected. This one I don't really imagine someone would want to hang, but here's the cool thing about these trays that have the legs. If they want to hang them, they already have the legs. All you really got to do is wrap some wire around it, and then boom, it could be hung right there. So I love it. I think it's cool.
So,
Let me do.
where do you get your art resin? How well do you think it works?
I get my art resin from their website, artresin.com. You can also get it from Amazon. I have an affiliate link on the website, abstractboss.com. What was the second part of the question? I didn't hear it.
How well do you think it'll work on jewelry?
Ooh, yeah. So, as far as I've heard from other people, it is great on jewelry. It is just not a good casting resin. So if you're casting the jewelry versus sealing the jewelry, then I would not recommend it. I would say Amazing Clear Cast would be a great one for you. The Amazing Clear Cast is awesome. I just have issues whenever I'm sealing something that I've used silicone with. And you also can't mix acrylic paints in there because anything water-based is gonna do something crazy, and we're not all about that life. Okay, so you guys can see I'm plowing through this thing pretty friggin' quickly, and I love it. I think it's cool. And I'm just using my other hand as a brace. Once it heats up, it really starts to go through super fast too, so you gotta make sure you're watching your hand because it'll it'll get real close. Whoop. See, look at that. They're just popping up now. Way quicker.
Is that roll of cork on your
Babe, you gotta speak louder. You're like a little quiet mouse over there.
Is that roll of cork on your product list?
Is what?
The roll of cork?
Roll of cork. I don't think I had that one on there, but I'll double check and I'll update that right after this video and make sure it's on there because I actually went through, oh, these ones are still there. I went through, oh, look at that, so fast. 2 rolls of this before I decided I wanted to recommend it. The reason I did that was because a lot of people on the reviews said it was a really crappy cork. And I was like, what? But it's so cool. So I wanted to try it out. And they said that they had issues with the cork like peeling away and getting chunks off or something like that. I can tell you guys, honestly, I've been through, this is my 3rd roll now, and this one I decided to order double, so this was actually a bigger roll, and I've not had a single one do that. I've had no issues whatsoever. Of course, I don't want to jinx you guys, but I haven't had issues. So yeah, totally good with it. Now this one's done. You can use it as just a decoration, or you can, so like that, no fingerprints, nothing, everything's good. You can use it as a decoration, or you can decide to hang it. Like I said, you can put the wire around it on these little legs, and you can hang it that way if you want. Now for the ones that we are ready to hang, I'll show you those. Let's see. This one probably has the least amount of bulbs to remove. So once you're ready to hang, again, remove the bulbs. You guys can tell how much I love this technique. It's just so friggin' easy, and it plows through all of these so quickly. And I don't have a window open, nothing. It's just a little hot because it's a friggin' heat gun. But I don't have any issues with fumes, and I have no headaches, and it's been a really big deal for me. So that's kind of one reason why I've really been sticking to the art resin a lot lately, is because I don't like getting headaches. When I got the headaches from the Amazing Clear Cast, those headaches would stay there, I kid you not, for a couple days, and I wouldn't want to work with resin again. And I think that's why you guys didn't see a lot of these projects from me. I just was getting so many headaches that I was getting demotivated to want to do anything because I just was miserable. And you guys know that I have quite the upbeat, bubbly personality, and I just was not feeling myself working with those other resins, no matter how much ventilation I had. I had those masks, I had a lot of things that I was working with, and they weren't doing it. Whereas the art resin, for me, I don't have issues, so. And almost done here.
So, you and Lucy were talking about
Do what?
acrylics into resin. You and Alicia were talking about that?
Alicia.
Alicia? Yeah. She said she can add acrylics with resin, just not too much. And she got what the shade she was looking for.
Oh, in the Amazing Clear Cast?
She says acrylics in Pro Marine.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of people adding them into the Pro Marine. I was talking about the Amazing Clear Cast because I have not used the Pro Marine yet. So once you guys get the bulbs off, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flip this way so you don't have to see all those ugly bulbs. And then that way this is nice and positive view for you. So, hey, what's going on? So now at this point, we're just gonna decide, okay, do I want this to be this way? I'll have you guys help me decide. What's your favorite way? We're gonna have number 1. Yeah, Alicia, that was good. 10% to the resin. Just, again, not an Amazing Clear Cast because it says nothing water-based. So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, and this will be 4. So my favorite one is either 3 or 2. What do you guys think? Because here's where we have to decide what we want our orientation to be. I kind of like the landscape orientation. I think they're a lot better. And I don't exactly want it to look like an egg. So I think that if I leave it this way, like my husband says, then it'll be an egg. Okay, so we're gonna stick with 2. It looks like everyone's loving the 2. Sorry, babe, you've been outvoted. You have been cut off. That happens a lot. Okay, so we know that we want this orientation, so we're gonna put our hooks right here, okay? So I have a couple different hooks that I was gonna show you guys. It depends on the weight of your geode. So these ones are really good. Oh, sawtooth, not bear tooth. Man, you guys, I'm getting so excited for Montana. That's why I'm thinking bear. So these are sawtooth and D-ring hangers. These ones are for the larger items. So I just thought I would show you guys these. It's probably backwards for you guys, but you can still see what they look like. Both of these are options to be able to utilize on the backs of your pieces. Those are for large pieces though, so I'm not gonna use those. I have this picture hanger set that I got, and this actually has been super perfect to use the little pieces over here, because this is for lighter pieces. So you just need 1, and then you get 2 of these thingamabobbers. And I do like to take the one nail, just so I can say that, hey, this is the hole that this needs to go in, because it doesn't take screwdrivers. And you can just use whatever to push it in, or use your fingers, because the wood's pretty soft, so it's not going to be a big deal. And then mark your spaces, push it in a bit just so you know where they're at. It's hard for you guys to see, but I can see them. And then you just twist these in. These ones are a little difficult because you can't put a screwdriver in it, so it makes it hard that you can't put that upwards weight on it. But these things are perfect, and they don't go too far through the geode. So I really, really like them. And let me see where the other one, right there. And then that'll hang. And so now I'm trying to think of a way to hang these at my festival on Saturday, because I want to put all these on the backs of them and then hang them. This has got to go in more though, but I'm going to need something to get the weight on there because I can't do that. Oh, it's so difficult. Maybe I could use the nail and push down.
They really like your shirt.
Oh, thank you! James got me the shirt. Did you guys actually like it, or is James just wanting the attention on it because he was a super awesome hubby and got the shirt for me? I'm obsessed. Like, okay, gotta, take a break from this real quick. I am like sweating here and it's super hot, but I'm gonna tell you guys about my Jurassic Park. Gail, what's going on? Vicky. So I am obsessed with Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and I have all the movies and I watch them all the time. If I don't know what I want to watch, then I'm gonna put on Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. And so I told him I'm going to this movie. I was freaking out while watching the trailer, and I seen the Mosasaurus in the wave. That's so crazy. Because it just makes you think, like, what if that was a reality, and how cool but scary as hell would that be? So yeah, it was, they said video bombing, they saw you. Yeah, where's my margarita? Come on. He looks over, he's like, wait, yeah, I should give that to her. Yeah. There's more in the fridge, just saying. I do. Okay, so yeah, I'm obsessed. So anyone wants to get in my good graces, it's always through Jurassic Park. So he had to give I'm a shitty husband who's not romantic, but I still love you like crazy, so I'm gonna get you a Jurassic Park shirt. Oh, I love that man. He's not romantic, but he is super thoughtful, and I adore him. He says close enough. Oh, I love it. So someone said something about how to get these in easier, because really, I don't know.
Use like a tiny screwdriver to make the hole.
I used the nail to make the hole, so the hole's already there, but it's just still not going in. It goes in a little crooked sometimes. No, I don't want to use that. That would be a bad idea. Let me do this. Ooh, look at that. So strong. Okay. Maybe I should bring my muscle in here. Muscle.
What you want?
Come here. Get that in there. I'm sweating. I need some margarita. Everyone, give applause for Muscles. Oh, this feels so good. It's so hot.
Oh no.
See, you can't do it either.
I don't want to break
You're making fun of me.
Use pliers. Needleless pliers.
Ooh, that's a pretty good idea.
Because I'm gonna put
But I like watching you try to do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab pliers.
I'm going to give up. I'm going to break something.
Can you get it?
I give up.
And he left y'all alone without me. Okay, so I'm gonna use needle nose pliers. I think this will help. But really, that's the only obnoxious thing about these, is how hard it is to get into the wood. But once you get it in there, it's awesome. I did it. Here, let me show you guys on my green one. Want to grab me the Kiss of the Irish one?
Yeah.
Thank y'all. I put it on the back of that one, and it's hanging beautifully underneath Zebediah, the zebra, if you guys haven't seen him yet. And I love seeing it there. It's nice. I'm excited to get all these other geodes up there, and the colorberry one. It is? Oh, that's what I did. It's the same one. I just gave up using the freaking screw things, and I put nails in it. How did I forget like that. That's funny. So here's my lazy butt, since it's just hanging on my wall. I didn't take off the bulbs yet. But here's the same thing. So I used the same saw hanger, and I just put 2 nails in it instead. So let me take out 2 small nails and do that before I torture us all with trying to get those friggin' things in. Yeah, so I just grabbed the 2 small nails from these. Good Lord, I'm so sorry for torturing you guys. There we go. And this will go in easy. I can use a popsicle stick to do this part, because these will go in. Ugh. James is getting really bad at saying anything. It's super quiet. Or are you guys just focused?
Everybody's coming in saying hi, and they're having conversations about other stuff too.
Oh, well, hey, you didn't think I'd want to say hi to them?
Okay, Patty says hi.
Hey.
Says stuff. Jane says hi. Wondering Art says hi.
All right, so look at that. Super easy to do. Nice and secure. I like hang it from the, whoop, look at that. Hanging it from the popsicle stick. Freehand. Boom. Levitating geode. So yeah, it's really that easy. And then now this is going to be in our number 2 orientation up on the wall. So I love it. Pretty easy, right? Once I get my hammer, I can always push this in a little bit more too. But they're just long enough that they go all the way through, but not like through the resin. You know what I mean? Like they're not destroying your art. So there's that. Okay, very last thing is resealing. So we kind of touched up on this, but I know some people came in a little late, so I thought I would go ahead and tell you guys which ones I am sanding and which ones I'm not. So this piece I have to re-resin because you guys know, oh, it's so weird, like not, there we go. So, nope, still didn't go, there we go. So this piece I have to re-resin because I put the silver leafing right on top. And again, remember, think of it as a like photo on a piece of wood, or this part would be like an image that's the entire piece of wood. So you could sand right here, but things like this and this, where I put on top, you're gonna scratch that photo. So you don't wanna do that. Same thing right down here. You can see I actually got some, look, my hands are pretty. So I got some glitter on my hands. James says, finds them like all over the place. Oh, thank you. So this one's not my favorite, but yeah, I mean, it's still cool. And then these matte looking black lines will end up being shinier too. So those I can't sand because all of that is on top. So you don't want to sand that. So you just have to risk putting that second layer. Good Lord, dog. That dog chooses now to squeak and hasn't done that all day. And then there's things like this that I created. You guys didn't get to see this. I don't know what I should call this, but it looks cool. Look at that. I did, so that technique, I'll show you guys that later. This was kind of my practice piece, and I was like, what animal should I do red on? And I thought rooster would be good. Oh, Steffi says, I love that. Thank you. I hate the tail though. I tried to recover the tail. I don't like that one, as that part of it as much, but I think with resin on top of it, it'll look really cool. So with that, you can choose that, like this I did on top. So this I would be able to sand. You don't want to get too close to these because watch, you could knock those out. Ah, I know. So then you would sand this. This is again on top, so you wouldn't want to sand that, and then you can sand this. So really it's as easy as just doing a nice light coat on there. So let me bring you guys down here. I don't know where my sandpaper went. Oh, right here. I'm like, I just had one. But really it's as easy as just taking a small piece off. That way you're not wasting the whole thing. And then just do a nice light sanding. Give it enough of a rough texture. Once it no longer feels super smooth, then yeah, you're totally good. And then just kind of lightly do it throughout here. I'm just trying to give it some extra teeth without destroying my entire piece with all my red jewels on here. Because I did, honestly, I added these like once the resin was almost cured is when I added those and like shoved them in, so not all of them stayed. So yeah, everything's an experiment with me. I'm like, hey, let's see if this works. Oh, no, fail. And it totally works that way too. So let me move these things out of the way. So that way we can re-resin. Ooh, hey, manly assistant. Come here, Mr. Man. Don't be a groucho. I need you to do some resin mixing.
Oh, great.
Love it. Okay, so even amounts, just like you did when thank you, Mrs. Colorberry. Okay, so I'm going to be staring at you guys while he's mixing that for a few minutes. So if you guys have questions, I'm right here to answer instead of his interpretation of your questions, which are not always fun. Bethany says, love the rooster, gotta do that. I'll show you guys. So I got a bunch of roosters from Michael's, and there's a hair there. Got a bunch of roosters from Michael's and bears and pigs, and the only one that I couldn't find were turtles. So if any of you guys go to your Michael's and you see cutting boards that are $4 because they're super cheap, and you feel like you would love to send me a turtle, I'll pay you back for it because I want a freaking turtle. I did one and it already sold because people love turtles and I love turtles and I wish I would have kept it. So that was really long-winded. But yeah, there's lots of animals. I'll do a video on how I did that because it was really weird. You guys, I found, have any of you guys already heard of countertop epoxy? If you have, they also have an art resin called Faux Rizzle, which I can't wait to try both of those. And if I can, like they have so many, Steffi says, yes. Okay, so they have so many cool techniques that you can learn by hopping onto their lives with Instagram. How do you cover the pieces to dry a box? Ooh, Midgey Midge. I'll get to show you guys my super awesome invention. This is total redneck covering resin invention, BT dubs. Use a red solo cut. Okay. They're out in the garage. Okay. Oh, okay. Or, yeah, don't use that. Okay. So I built, I just put a table, and then I put this black tablecloth, just like you guys have been seeing with everything that I've been doing this week, right over top of it, because the resin will peel off of that. And then, which that I think is cool. Like this, that was just peeled. Look at that. I just peeled that off. Like it comes off and it's been sitting over there for a couple days. So it's totally awesome. But what I did was I took one of the, what did I buy? I got something that came in a really big cardboard box. And so I decided to fold it up at an edge. Ooh, hey, just got a butt tab. So folded it up at the edge, and then where I folded it up, I screwed that into the wall, and then the rest of it is all flat out here onto the table, and so that folds up against the wall now. And now I put it down to cover all my pieces, and then I put it up whenever I'm working on my pieces. And that cardboard has, yeah, scrape. That cardboard has a tablecloth over top of that too, so that way it's like blocking all the edges. So here, we got a couple minutes. He's gonna be mixing. We'll leave him to do the dirty work. And don't mind my super horrible kitchen. It's so dirty right now. But yeah, I'll show you guys my awesome invention. It's not really an invention, but look at that. So yeah, just lay it up flat against the wall, and like wherever your crease is, that's where you want to screw a bunch of screws into. And then yeah, you're totally good. Now I have a nail up here to nail it up at the top. Heidi says yes. So that's what you do when you want to save some money and have full coverage, y'all. I also, it's like a Murphy bed. Dude, Debbie, I was trying to say totally, and I said Debbie. Debbie, it totally is. I love it. I think it's so cool. So there you go. You can see, oh, you want to see how it comes down? Well, I don't have my chair. My table is gone. I put it outside for barbecue. I normally will set a chair right here so that way it sits right on top of the chair. So I'll put it down so you guys can see that. But you can see, here's the nail. So you just wiggle the nail out. And then, let me move this around. Don't mind my dirty garage. And then it would normally sit right on top of the chair, right there. So then that way it's nice and flat, and you see how the tablecloth hangs over and everything? Yeah. So amazing. Innovative. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. I'm gonna put, actually, since I don't have two hands, why is this thing? This stabilizer is quite the thing to try to get used to, you guys. At least it's not bouncing for you guys, but it's really hard to use. So, use my head. Bring this guy over. Ooh. There we go. So you guys can see kind of how it works. Here, look at that. That's how it would normally work, except I would put the tablecloth on the outside. So yeah, and then the table would be right down here underneath with all my projects. So honestly, I have like an entire foot worth of space. So of working space and stuff like that. Oh, this thing is so weird. Fixed. There we go. So yeah, so it's really nice. I love it. There's my innovation for you all. James is still in here mixing. So you can look at all the stuff we've been working on. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna do an organization blog about that too, so you guys can get all the instructions, I guess. But I mean, you got the lowdown there. I'm pretty informative. Let me move all these out of the way. Yeah, mostly I tell you guys everything. I think I do. Gosh, if I'm leaving anything out, just let me know. I like to be able to help and teach others. But honestly, I have been loving these tags that I've been getting lately. All you amazing people creating these geodes. Wow, like stuff, and they're like, it's the coolest thing in the world. And you're like, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. So it's really cool. Okay, so let me show you guys, jump right into showing you how I'm going to resin the rooster and one set of coasters. Or no, we'll do a rooster and a geode. But you know that black and white geode that's been like all of our favorites? Look how ugly it is after sanding. It's so ugly. Like my kid's face, look at that. He was just so grouchy, and he was on a super cool train at a zoo. Like, what kid can be grouchy with that? Yeah, I don't know. But when you sand, it is not on all pieces. Like I mentioned, just I didn't sand where the gold leaf was unless it was sharp where it would like hurt someone. And then you just want to make sure that you're brushing it off so none of that dust or sanding particles gets on your resin, the new resin. Hey babe, yeah. I think now would be kind of a horrible time to play with Ella. It's like creating all this noise in the background. I missed whatever was said, I don't know. And he wasn't paying attention because he was playing with the dog.
They have not seen animal shapes.
Have not, dang it! Okay, well I really appreciate you guys thinking about that, because if you do happen to see them, I'm obsessed and I need more. I think they're just so much fun to make. I'm also trying to find someone who does like laser wood cutting that can do the same thing, because then I could probably get them for around the same price. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so now I got my rooster down. Let me get my gloves on so I don't get yelled at. So bad at remembering. Okay. Oh, hair back to you guys. I know, all of this effort just for some resin. All right, let me put you guys down here. There we go. So, but because my table is outside, I'll just tell you guys a trick that I learned. So if you guys ever get hair and stuff in your resin while it's still gooey, here's an amazing trick, okay? So pay attention. I will just pick that hair out, and it'll be like oddly gooey, but you can use your heat gun, and you just want to use it like super soft. Okay, super soft. I'm rolling all those off. But don't like right on top of it. Don't just angle it straight down and oh my god, it's gooey. I'll try to like, if there's a hair, I'll record it so that way I can show you guys what I mean. But once you pick that hair out, it'll settle back down if you end up doing a heat gun. You just don't want to do too much, because I've also heard of some people burning their resin. So don't let that happen. Okay. Margarita. Okay, you guys, if you guys asked a question, James was not in front of the computer. Let me know.
I got it.
Oh, he's gonna look back. So, getting some beautiful resin on top of here. And then when I pour resin on top of things that have texture, I go on top of that texture first. So that way it does not get pushed over by other resin. Okay, so go on top of it first, just follow it up, and then you can pour some more in these creases. Man, there's so many bubbles. You mixed super fast, didn't you, babe?
No.
That means yes. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one kind of roll out. This one I'm gonna play around with, like we were doing with that purple and white geode. You just kind of want to use your finger and push it up towards the texture versus going right on top of the texture. Because again, you can make those bulbs come out, and at this point we're trying to get them to stay on. So just be very careful, and then let the resin run over top of this, or run over the side of this. Now, normally I tape off my animals when I'm painting them. When I am sealing them, I do not. I want to make sure that I'm getting the full side, every which way possibly covered, and I don't feel like I can do that very well if I tape it. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so just rub it on the sides here and roll around. Keep on rolling. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. My husband seems bored.
You said check online at Michael's? It looks like they might be on clearance.
Ooh, okay, because last time I checked online, they were no longer on clearance, and they were out of turtles. So I'll have to double check. But yeah, I've seen that it was only at clearance on stores, but they might be online, so I'll have to double check that. And I hope they have a turtle. That would be amazing. Okay, I think I got this. Yell at me if you guys have a better angle and see some spots that I may have missed. Okay, but I'm pretty sure. And that's also why I like to use my gloves. I feel like I can feel everything a little bit better. And then with this one, it's a lot easier, just back and forth. And you can see, you don't even see the sanding marks anymore. It's nice and clear and beautiful. I love it. Go right around, make sure you get the whole top, and then we're gonna do that same thing and just bring it over onto the sides. Boom, 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 boom. And it's really that simple. Ooh, wow, this gold leaf is trying to catch my gloves though. And then once you get this on, you will just do the heat gun, get all the booblés off, because there are a lot, and then that's gonna change up the entire look of this piece. Okay, so let me do that for y'all so you can see. Ready for this? I love it. This part's my favorite. Like watching all those bubbles disappear, it's so cool. And then how it just leaves these colors looking so pristine. Especially these deep colors. Like the black, you'll really notice it there. Okay. I like to get a better angle, just make sure I got everything. And then, next one, oh man, look at that. Love it!
Do you cover all the pieces so you make it smooth over the stone?
So this is going to leave texture. I personally like texture. My husband is one who does not. So I think that it just depends on what you enjoy, and then try to appeal to that audience. I love texture. I know a lot of people who've watched what I do love the texture because they want to come up and they're like, oh my gosh, let me touch it. And it's fun to watch people do that personally. But those who don't want the texture, I mean, that's their thing. They're a little bit more plain Jane, okay? My husband's a little bit more of a plain Jane, and that's all right. That's their prerogative. They can be a lot less awesome as we are, okay? So there's a hair right here, so I'm going to stab with my nail. Look at that. It's blurry, but you guys can see that there's a hair on the tip of that. I was wondering why it looked like there was bubbles. So sometimes you can't obviously see the hair because it hasn't fully floated to the, floated to the top, and it'll just look like a couple dots that won't pop, and that would be a piece of hair. And it looks like I got everything. Yeah, looks beautiful. Oh, this one's like probably my favorite. I'm just obsessed with it, so I'm really excited. And then I know someone had asked me, so I'm sure that this question will pop up. Let me see, do I have enough resin? I have some resin. I might be able to cover this. So I almost didn't do a second coat on this one, but because these were not fully coated in resin, I want to do a second coat because of that, okay? I want everything to be fully coated in resin. If they are something that's super thick and big, I really want it to hold in. And that's kind of the whole point there. So this particular geode, I am doing a second piece because of that. If I'm ever adding something on top, I am doing a second piece because of that. So I hope that makes sense. All right, it is hot. Let me know if you guys have any more questions, because that's all I'm gonna show you guys for tonight. I'm gonna get some nice ice drinks and then finish the rest of these resin pieces myself. Whenever you're finishing a coaster, it's as easy as putting, I think it's a tablespoon of resin. So I mix up enough to be able to just put a tablespoon on each, and it spreads out super thin, so it's nice. Let me see, I might be missing something. Oh, why does this thing keep switching so fast? I'll walk backwards, there we go, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna sit right here for 1 sec. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Oh, James says I can manage that. What is that? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. I just got cut somehow. I don't even know how I got cut.
Okay.
It's funny. All right. Well, I don't think there are any more questions. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. I have some really cool stuff planned out for us in the near future. So get excited. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, but I'll definitely give you some hints. And then of course, Mrs. Colorberry Part 2, I'll update you guys once I find out. I don't know for certain yet, because she's checking her schedule. She's a busy lady, y'all, but she's excited to do Part 2, and she loved doing Part 1. It was just fun. We might make it like a wine night though. So we'll see, because she's got, I think, 9-hour difference. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna try this hopefully soon. Yay! Night AB, love the lives. All right, Rusty, I'll have to do more then. Best video, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Not a problem, Midgy Midge. Okay, oh, and it looks like ATD just got live. So go enjoy watching them from Belize. See you, everyone.